Technology, Classification, Portal, and Gateway Demonstration. We are now going to perform a demonstration of the tools used by the CTO in developing the material to support the recommendations in this presentation. The application presented for you here is a web application using a SQL database in the background to create a method and a classification of technology which is grouped by area and within area by brick. Here you can see on the left-hand side are the technology areas. Underneath, in the full page in front of you, is all of the technology bricks currently defined within our current structure. The application also supports two levels of maintenance, one for the overall database, another for the actual area or brick definition for which it's been described. For example, if we look at an area like integration, we can see that we can create a definition for what's involved within that environment. Furthermore, we can also ascertain what the different patterns and characteristics are for it. For example, integration styles. And within integration styles, we can create our own Wikipedia, if you will, of what different integration patterns may look like. The main body of the application can support, as mentioned previously, multiple taxonomies. Taxonomies are all dynamically referenced using parameters passed into the URL. For example, in this particular case, if we take a different pattern that looks at, say, TOGAF, for example, or in this particular case, Treasury Board, we can see that the actual taxonomy itself is dynamic and being generated from the database. The points in which they link to are bricks at lowest level of decomposition. Therefore, multiple taxonomies can be placed in front of the core database to ensure the representation style meets with the type of navigational structure desired by the user. Another very powerful feature of the application is its ability to do dynamic searching. For example, if we wanted to find out what references there were to a particular technology, say PKI, we'd be able to search it and obtain a real-time dynamic list of everywhere where that technology has been defined, used, discussed. The elements on the right side of the description indicate the type of object in which that information is stored. For example, halfway down the list, we see that there's an entry for PKI management tools within the Government of Canada as a policy from Treasury Board. If we click that, we will be able to go to the Treasury Board website and see where that's actually been referenced. The application is in essence a broker. Furthermore, we can look and see that that technology has been referenced in various COTS products, in addition to the Shared Access Enabler line of business. Again, this line of business view is a different taxonomy, pointing to different types of information. When we click on the actual definition of, say, Geddes, we can start to see containers for solutions within product, and in some cases, bricks within solution. We also have the ability to store patterns, practices, prerequisites, co-requisites, and a variety of other associated information, including external link references to other sources. For example, vendor websites or standard generic websites like Wikipedia for definition of terms and so on. The taxonomy used for line of business is also extremely powerful, in that it gives us a contextual view for the catalog of today. Again, the information contained here is a multi-dimensional cube. So if I drill into networks, it will expand the network cube into the various service offerings that are used, and where possible, give us descriptions on what actually is contained for that service offering, including what the options are, the level of service, and eventually, hopefully, price and prereq corec. Now we'll discuss briefly aspects of maintenance. Maintenance, as I mentioned earlier, exists in two places: at the core root database level and at the product or brick level itself. At the root level, an authority model has been implemented to allow us the ability to assign stewardship for different components of the database to different owners. On the left-hand side, we've broken it into technology domains, service domains, products, and application descriptors. Under, for example, areas, all areas currently referenced in the database are brought up in a dynamic list, and each area is dynamically editable along with all the brick entries, catalog entries, and any other associated object in the database. Once in maintenance mode, information can be worked with very similar to an editor, like Word or what have you, where people can copy and paste dynamic content, including Flash, multimedia, web links, style sheets, etc. This is maintenance at the highest level. As I mentioned earlier, it can be done for any entity or object. Here we see a listing of bricks. And again, we have the ability to categorize or update the artifact. Now, this again is different than maintenance that would occur on an object within a taxonomy. For example, under runtime environment, if we were to click application server, we can now see the context of what we had described earlier about the placement of product category by a technology brick for a given solution, including the reference to things like the standard, the other technologies that are dependent on this technology. And when we go into maintenance for this particular brick, the maintenance screens are only applicable to the brick object itself. So the properties for this, the road mapping data for it, the standards, policies, and other attributes. On the base screen, we are also able to capture properties associated with the brick, including things like trends. At this point, this concludes our demonstration of the online application. If you have any questions, we can address them later on in our summary.